Hi guys. Ooh, hello. The curls are back. The curls are back. Hi everybody. I hope you can hear me fine. And I just finished showing property and I had to run in the store, but hi guys, welcome. As I was showing property, this topic popped into my mind. Thank you. Yeah, so I only really straighten my hair when it's cold. Once it gets warm, I really don't mess. Hey, Sarah. I'm scared now, but you can help me out as I talk about this. Once it starts getting warm, you guys, I don't straighten it because it's too humid. I live in Virginia. It's super humid. And so the humidity, hey Lance, the humidity just completely makes it draw up. So it's pointless to straighten it. So the curls are back. So I just, actually, let me do my introduction. I'm Rashida Clark, for anybody that doesn't know me. And I'm a realtor. Hi, nice to meet you. I'm a realtor in Hampton Roads, Virginia. I do see Sarah on. Sarah's in Hampton Roads too. Welcome her to the scope. And I just finished showing some buyers, and they may be on. Joey, if Joey's on, just kind of like, pop in and say hi. But they made me think of this topic. So they didn't do anything wrong, but this I think is a good topic. So actually, let me take my glasses off because now I'm sitting here, my face is sweating. Oh, cool, you're from Chesapeake. Awesome. Welcome to the scope. But you're in South Florida. I'm kind of jealous. I don't know if I should be jealous. I'm jealous of the weather right now, but maybe not so jealous during hurricane season. maybe not. Hold on. Oh, it's 72. Yeah, I'm jealous. I'm jealous. It was really nice here. It got warm, and then all of a sudden it got cool again. It's warming up today, but it's not that great. So, okay, the topic, buying a fixer-upper with a FHA or a VA loan. So let's start with the basics. Most likely, it's a no. Okay. I say most likely because it can be done, but it's hard. Those two loans, they are government. I just say government backed. It's the easiest way to describe it. Hi, thank you. Welcome to the scope. It's the easiest way to describe it, but the government, a government agency, so VA, the Veterans Administration for VA, and then FHA, which is a loan that a lot of first-time home buyers, low to moderate income home buyers use to buy their first home or your second or third, depending on your situation. Those loans are what I just call government backed. That's not necessarily a terminology, but it's the easiest way for me to describe it to the general public, basically. Those loans have stricter requirements and expectations as far as the condition of the house. So if you want to get a fixer-upper, you guys, you need to be looking at a 203K loan, which is basically a rehab loan. It's a rehab loan. So when I'm talking about fixer-upper, I'm talking about more than paint. I'm talking everything else besides paint and like something easy like new carpet. Okay, if you want to fix a upper, you need to get an FHA 203K loan. If you're a first-time home buyer, if you're not, there are other loan products out there for you, but the FHA 203K, just ask for a rehab loan. Keep it simple. You need to get those. So the danger is, and I was explaining this to my buyers today, we went to see a couple that were move-in ready. He really wants to put a little sweat equity into a home, which isn't bad. You just got to really kind of weed through the crap that's listed to find something that's not too bad. This house, I don't think is going to work. Thank you. I don't think this house is going to work because I think it needs too much. I think it's got some water damage, some moisture damage, a couple other things. I don't think it's going to pass appraisal. So the danger in trying to do a fixer-upper with a VA or regular FHA is that you really aren't going to know if the lender is going to allow you to purchase that home with that loan until you get to appraisal, which is usually at the end of the process. So you're potentially wasting money and you're wasting time. Okay, you guys? So you're going to wait 30 or 45 days to the end of the process to get to appraisal, only to find out the lender says, no, we're not going to guarantee this loan for this house because it needs too much. And usually when you're dealing with short sales and foreclosures, a lot of times they're sold as is. So you're stuck. Okay, so you basically got to walk away from that deal. That's a danger. And VA, if anybody is familiar with VA used to do what they call the VA Vendy loan, which was kind of like their rehab loan. But as far as I know, they don't do that anymore. And so I actually had this situation a couple years ago where I had a VA buyer who was pre-approved. He's owned a home before. He's really handy, and he had liquid cash. He wanted to buy a fixer-upper, and this one was pretty bad, but it was in a really great neighborhood. They would not allow it. It was a VA foreclosure. He's like, but I'm using a VA loan. They're not going to let me do it? No. It's like, nope, I'm sorry. They're not. They don't care if you have the cash. It doesn't matter. These are their guidelines, okay? Every loan, you guys, has different loan guidelines. So the easiest way is just be very careful about what you're looking for. If you really are into getting a rehab type of home, get a rehab loan. A lot of times what I'm finding is people don't want to do that because the loan has a higher interest rate. And the reason for that is because it's a riskier loan for the bank. It's got a higher interest rate. So people don't want to switch, okay? But I mean, honestly, you're playing with fire. You really are. And that's what I want people to understand. So for example, you find a house, it needs some work, you get it under contract, you do home inspection, you do termite and moisture inspection. Home inspection is one of those things that usually aren't included in your closing costs, and the seller isn't going to pay for you. So if you've wasted your own $300 or $400, okay, then you go down the line, you keep moving on to even if you're willing to take the property as is, you go down the line to appraisal, you've got to pay for appraisal too. So that's another $400 or $500 depending on the lender. So now you're $800 into the deal, money you can't get back. So if the lender says they're not going to allow you to purchase that home because it's got too many problems, you've just blown $800 and all your time. Exactly. And see, that's a whole nother, I'm glad you brought that up. That's a whole nother layer. In Hampton, Hampton doesn't have any true historic districts. Norfolk does, Newport News does, most of the other cities around me. And so if you're looking at a fixer-upper and it's in a historic district, there's a whole other layer of rules and things that you've got to follow. With that, I actually have a home listed right now that's in a historic district, and it's a fixer-upper. Just keep it at that. Well, like I said, the interest rate is higher, but I think that the qualifying credit score is the same. But typically when you're getting one of those FHA rehab loans, you cannot get that no money down. You have to have some cash to put into the deal. Thank you, Sarah. You've got to have some cash. So you can, FHA still has their FHA Plus, which is basically a zero, no money down loan. You can't do a zero down on a rehab. Does that make sense? So you've got to have some money. Yep, you got to have some skin in the game. And that's really where I see people steering away from the rehab loan because they don't want to put any money down. Well, right now, actually, FHA has, sorry, not FHA, VACA, which is our State Department Housing Authority. They're actually offering 3.5% down payment to buyers right now that get a house under contract and they qualify, all that kind of stuff. They're offering 3.5%, which is like free money. So it basically takes the regular FHA loan and makes it like a no money down, but it's money that you don't, it's not a loan, it's just a grant, it's grant money that you don't have to pay back ever. But I don't know that you can couple that either with the FHA rehab. I've got to ask. But usually that's what gets people. They're like, oh, I got to put how much down? For my first time home buyers, I'm talking. So be careful, you guys. Be careful. Be careful, be careful, be careful. I just hate to see people fall in love with something, get all excited, get all the way down to appraisal, Oh, well, really? Are your prices high? I thought in Florida the prices were a little more affordable. I just don't want people to get all the way down the road and then find out that you can't get this home. I mean, the lender ultimately has the say in whether they're going to write that loan for that house for you. You know what I'm saying, guys? Really? Okay, so I'm not jealous about that. Because the cost of living here isn't that affordable, but okay, true, you're in South Florida. Okay, I got you. So you guys, do you have questions? I hope that I explained it. I really run into this a lot with VA. I mean, VA is probably the strictest. It's the strictest. I mean, VA guarantees your loan, which means that they back your loan. They will pay the bank back, whoever is your lender. They will pay them back if you why do I always have all these trolls? They will pay the bank back if you default. And so they're very strict, you know, as far as condition goes. and they don't even really have any, their appraisers can basically say just about whatever they want to be done to that house before they sell it. I mean, I've got one right now under contract. I'm on the listing side, and the buyer is a VA buyer, and I'm nervous. I'm shaking because the house is sold as is. It's in pretty good condition, but the house is sold as is. Turn off your location. Well, you know, my trolls usually come. I have like a lot of people that come in from Russia. I don't know how I get like Russia. Maybe it's my name. Most of my trolls usually aren't locals, but I'll try that. Thank you. Yeah, so VA is usually the strictest, you guys, and it's rough. I mean, you know, especially for buyers, VA who have cash, they've got liquid cash to fix up stuff. It's still not going to work. The market is getting hot right now, and so we've got people that are paying over list price, paying over appraised saying I don't think VA will let you do it at all. They don't care if you have liquid cash. Any of my agents can jump in if it's different for you, or if I'm saying the wrong information. I think FHA you can, but it has to be renegotiated. I think VA, if it comes in under appraised value or you're offering over appraised, I don't even think they allow it anymore. Yeah, they don't allow it. So VA is strict. Yep. Cool. They're strict. Thank you, Sarah. So, you know, I mean, you guys, and a lot of times people ask a lot of questions about, well, can I do this? Well, can I do that? Well, you know, It really depends on the loan, you guys. It's going to depend on what loan you're using and the guidelines for that loan. So it's not just an across the board yes or no. But I just wanted to bring up these two in particular, FHA and VA. Yes, if you're not on the loan and you haven't owned in 3 years, you're considered a first-time home buyer, even again. So you could technically be a first-time home buyer multiple times, but yes. Yeah, and yeah, oh yeah, you're a first-time home buyer, Corey. Sarah, and that's what we were kind of hoping. We were hoping that, you know, it really would just need a few things. But you know how it is. I mean, you know how it is. You go to some of the houses and they say, oh, it just needs paint. And you walk in and it's like, this one wasn't that bad, but it was a little more beyond just paint. You know what I'm saying? And because they're first-time homeowners, you know, that's the other thing. Do you really have the liquid cash to spend buying the home and fixing it up? You know, that's where I'm like, it sounds fun and it seems like it's gonna be all good, but fixing up a home is a lot of work. A lot. I know, I'm living in it right now. It's a lot of work. It's not like on TV when, you know, they bring in a whole crew and they fix it up while the people that live there are gone, and you come back to a miraculously beautiful house. Like, it doesn't work like that. Well, if you're going to use a FHA, the down payment is 3.5%. It's 3.5%. Yeah, so whatever. Yeah, 3.5% of the sales price. But I always tell people to check your state department, because every state housing department offers different incentives. Our department right now, they're offering that whole 3.5% as a down payment. Thank you for stopping in. I appreciate it. I really do. But they're offering that whole 3.5% as a down payment, and Florida may be doing something similar. And you can put down more than 3.5%. But it's got to be at least 3.5%. If you're doing a regular FHA, you could do a FHA plus, which is the 0 down. Of course, the interest rate is going to be higher, but you can still. And people, I think I was on Facebook or something. I was talking about the no money down loan, and they were like, I didn't even know that still existed. Well, it does. It never went away, but every bank doesn't offer the FHA plus. Yes. The more you put down, the less your mortgage, the more equity you have. It's definitely a good thing. And what people don't realize, if you put down more money and your credit file is kind of iffy, they're more likely to take a lower credit score. Technically, FHA, you only have to have a 580, but a lot of banks want you to have at least a 620. They have that additional overlay credit score requirement of a 620. What do you mean about apartments to rent, or like apartments to purchase, like condo type things? So if yours credit is lower, with all utilities included, I don't know. I'm not really into the rental market. Not really. It's for me, and I know in a lot of places, some agents do rentals and sales. I don't really do rentals and sales. I don't really do rentals because there's no money in it, basically. Not the way our system here is set up. It's just not like, yeah, a lot of people, a lot of renters, they're just as picky as buyers, and so by the time you take them around to like 100 houses and they finally find one, and then you get a referral fee of like $100, it's just not worth it for me. So I don't know a whole lot about rentals. We do have a separate rental. If you're in the area, we do have a separate property management department, and I can send you some information about that if you want to drop in your email. Drop in your email here and I can send you information about that. 620, it should be fine. 620 is typically what most banks require, but like I said, a lot of banks will go lower. 600, 580. FHA only requires a 580, but a lot of banks want something higher than that. But the more money you're putting down, the better it's going to be for you. The issue is when you have people with a really low credit score that have no money and no assets. That's when the issue comes in. All right, guys, so I've talked myself to death here. I am going to run. Thank you for hopping in. I appreciate it. I'm done showing for the day. Good. Well, I'm hoping that if you've got, I'm gonna tell you, this is my suggestion to everybody. If you don't have a lot of recent things that are holding your credit down, like late payments and things like that, most of the time, only thing that's holding your credit down is that you have too much debt, usually on credit cards. Usually on credit cards. Most people, when you pay your credit cards down, you're going to see a score jump. That's usually the easiest way. People will go and pay collections off, and they'll wait for their score to go up. It's not going to happen. Nice. That's not bad at all. So I don't know where the young lady was that was asking about rentals, but if you want some more information, this is probably a good place to get that information. Anyway, so that was my credit tip for today. All right, guys, bye. I'll see you later.